The most surprising thing I learned working at Google was about data, how to think about data. You'd think, data reigns supreme, right? And Google is a data company. It makes all of its trillions of dollars through data. But actually, I got the power dynamics all wrong. Don't let data lead you. Let data inform you. This is the first framework about how to think about data as an informant, not as a leader. You might have heard of these statistically significant but preposterous claims. Like every year in the United States, the number of movies with Nicolas Cage in it is strongly and statistically significantly related to the number of people who drown in pools. Or that ice cream consumption is strongly correlated with shark attacks. Or the number of pirates is strongly correlated with global temperature. Correlation is not causation. And this is the number one reason why you don't let data lead you, you let it inform you. As a company with overwhelming amount of data, the first thing you learn is that the data is not going to tell you insights. You have to provide the context for the data to give you insights. You have to know where to look, and the data will tell you what it sees. The power dynamic gives the leadership to humans who are good at creating context, and let the data work for you and tell you, surprising patterns. Which leads me to the second framework, which is on followers versus leaders. I'm a part of a few YouTuber groups, writer groups, and the number one thing that we talk about all the time is, what do I create? The things that I love to talk about, the views just shows no one cares. And the things that really, everyone's talking about it, everyone's echoing each other, well, those do so well with the algorithm. So do I sell my soul and do the thing that everyone is doing and is really unsatisfying to me? Or do I focus on what I love and know that it's not going to get the views, it's not going to give me the money to... At work is true as well, right? The thing that is proven, is best practice, you follow it, there's not that much risk. But if you really wanted to innovate, you really wanted to solve a problem in a different way, well, lots of people give you a million reasons why you can't do that. There's no data to prove that this will work. Well, of course there isn't, right? If you're trying to do something new. So there's a funny tension there of wanting to do what you believe is right versus doing the easy, boring thing. But secretly, there is a third choice. And it happens in 3 steps. First is accepting the role of you as a leader and accepting the fact that for leaders, things are just harder. Go back to that YouTuber example. The issue only exists if you wanted to do something that is less proven. This means you are a thought leader. You want to be a trend setter. You want to put out something new there and have people follow you. Right? That means you're a leader, you're not a follower. So number one step is figuring out, am I a leader, am I a follower? And accept your role. Because the world looks very different for a leader versus a follower. Life is going to be inherently more difficult for a leader because you're trying to do something that is not proven. There is risk involved, but that is what you choose to do. Right? If you don't want to accept the responsibility, you don't want to accept the risk, then you should accept your role as a follower. Life is going to be easier, it's going to be more boring, but it's a choice to make. There's pros and cons to everything. Because if you want to do something that's already proven, a leader before you have already paved the way, right? Marcus Aurelius, he didn't have a very easy time building an audience for Stoicism, right? So based on his hard work, Ryan Holiday then brought it to modern society. And it wasn't easy for Ryan Holiday either. He had to write 10 plus books on this topic. Right? So now, if you still want to talk about Stoicism, yes, you're going to be echoing what other people have already said, but it's easier, right? Because you're building on the shoulders of giants. But let's say for you, everyone is talking about Stoicism, and you think they're missing the point. They should really be focusing on X, right? And that means you're a leader. Accept that and know that, yes, X is not known because no one's talking about it. So it's weird for you to even expect that everyone will suddenly watch your videos or read your writing because no one knows what X is. Right? So that is step number 1. Your role as a leader, and understand that, okay, with leadership comes responsibility. Number 2 is make the wrong choice. Take Steve Jobs and Apple. Like iPhone was a success, iPod was a success, MacBooks were a success, and he decided to introduce the iPad. An iPad is something in between, right? If you knew anything about marketing, about product design, is don't make something that's in between. And yet the iPad worked. It's still working today. This is about making the wrong choice, right? When other people tell you, no, you should just keep on doubling down on the iPhone. You should just keep on doubling down on the personal computer, something you started with, right? But sometimes making the wrong choice is the thing that will catapult you forward. And again, it comes back to data doesn't lead you. Data is there to inform you. What is it that people are enjoying about the iPhone and the iPad? It's the fact that they love the design, They love the versatility, they love the options, they love to be able to do different things on different devices, right? So why not iPad? And this idea of making a wrong choice against the data doesn't just happen in tech. It happens in media and other industries as well, where you have a lot of data. Take Anna Wintour, editor-in-chief of Vogue, reigning editor-in-chief. She's been there for ages. And she tells a story of early on in her career. She's trying to make it, trying to leave her mark. And she was on a plane. A passenger sitting next to her asked her, "What do you do?" At that time, the little bob and her face was not iconic yet. And she says, "Oh, I work at Vogue." And the guy says, "Wow, what a classic publication." I think about Audrey Hepburn, I think about Grace Kelly, I think about all these, classic representation of women who are just so graceful, so elegant. And, it's not about Madonna. And that really left a spark in her, oh, it's not about Madonna. And so she decided that she would put Madonna on the cover, shake things up a bit, right? Leave her mark. She's making the wrong choice because the brand was about all of this grace and elegance, but she knew that in order to stay relevant, she needed to lead, not follow. And Madonna at the time was growing to be culturally relevant. She could spot what the data couldn't tell her because, remember, it's trailing data. By the time the data tells you that, it might be too late. So she let the data inform her of what people cared about are culturally relevant figures, not just classic and elegant people. So she chose Madonna to be on the cover. It was really controversial, but it made Vogue relevant. And she said, yes, we might have some people cancel subscriptions. Yes, we might have people who are upset by the fact that we chose Madonna over someone who's, more traditionally viewed as elegant and classic. But what happened was we stayed relevant. We became a part of the cultural conversation at the time. And this meant not letting the data, letting the audience determine what you do, but you lead the way. Same concept as the iPad. Same concept as selling books on the internet when the internet was just starting. Staying culturally relevant and ahead of someone to set the trend for what is to come. You're shaping the future that doesn't yet have data to tell you what the future will be. And that leads me to number 3, pick your controversies. Vogue doesn't put someone controversial on its cover every single month. Apple doesn't come out with a product that shakes up everything that you believe in every single year. Amazon doesn't change the rules of e-commerce every single quarter. The controversy is not there just for the sake of it, but it has meaning. You have to pick your controversies that represent how you see the world, right? That represents what you think is important. And then there's also the things that are proven, that you've already, as the leader, set an example for, and you can reap the rewards from it, right? iPhone upgrades every single year. Most of the changes are not fundamental, and yet many of us still run to the Apple Store whenever there's a new product coming, right? It makes financial sense. And coming back to that worry that everyone had as creators, as writers, the things that do well, I find it a little bit boring. The idea is you can have both. You can have your controversies that are meaningful where you're leaders, and then once you pave the way, you can reap the rewards. And that is the secret third option. Pick the ones that have meaning, not just for the sake of it, something that you really believe in, share it. And once you've created that new trend, you can capitalize on it. As a corporate person, it means once you've spearheaded that project that really means something to you, that's something that you truly believe in and you want to take the risk to do it. Once you've set the scene for, hey, I am someone who can execute, I am someone with an idea, with a strategy, I'm someone who can innovate. Once you've set that brand for yourself and everyone knows that you can deliver, right, then you can reap the rewards for it. You'll actually get more chances to do the things that you like because people know that's something you can already do, but you have to take the risk at the beginning. And this is perfectly summarized by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind and still function. Right? There is this tension of leading and following. There is a tension of making money and doing what you love. And yet, if you can hold both of those in mind and being able to function, right, knowing the order they should come in, everything will change. This was the counterintuitive idea I learned at Google. And if you want to see more counterintuitive frameworks, check out this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.